Oh gosh, Megan, it is Monday, May 24th. You are a mess, girl. Um, the topic was Marjorie Taylor Greene comparing mask mandates in on the floor of the House to the Holocaust. That it's just as bad as the Nazis uh, shipping off 6 million Jews to their death in concentration camps. Um, that's just as bad as having to wear a mask on the floor of the House. And no one in the Republican Party is really denouncing that. She's not only not apologized, she's sticking to her guns and the whole thing. And so when it comes to you to discuss it, you say you hate her, she's crazy, but that she's been stripped of her committees, so she doesn't have any power, which is incorrect. She has a vote. And if you are willing to say that a vote on legislation is no power, then do any of us as private citizens have any power because we have the ability to vote for those leaders? It, just because she's not on a committee, she's still a lot closer to making law than I am, and you are. So that's a weird argument. And as Sunny pointed out, she raises a shit ton of money, not just for herself, but for the Republican Party, to spew out these ridiculous notions and arguments. And and what she's saying is just blatantly incorrect and offensive. And the point is, as Whoopi pointed out, somebody needs to be telling her that it's wrong, and no one in the Republican Party is doing that. And when you are in a situation uh, such as our federal politics, you're giving a tacit approval. So the Republicans are all saying what Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying is okay. By not denouncing her or those words or her actions, they're saying that her behavior and the things that she says are okay. But instead of talking about that and the problems within your own party, of which you feel very tribal, you again bring up um, hate crimes against Jewish people, which you did on Friday as well. Which hate crimes of all kinds are a problem. And so you've clearly brought this up twice. I don't know why this is the hill you want to die on right now. Um, but of course, it's a problem. But angrily listing off the things that have been going on isn't helping the problem. I get you're just trying to highlight that it's an issue, but you're not helping the problem by hijacking the segment, pissing off all of your co-hosts, and screaming. I don't know how you think that that's a winning argument. Um, but again, it's just part of the whole, your Fox News training about, I don't really want to talk about the thing that's going on and the thing that we're discussing. So I'm going to spin up a whole bunch of fervor about something else so that we don't have to talk about the thing I don't want to talk about, which is the fact that crazy people have taken over your Republican Party. Excuse me. So I found it very interesting that when we came back and continued to have this conversation longer than the segment was scheduled for, and Sunny very carefully explains that you cannot say that criticizing the Israeli government is anti-Semitic. You have to separate the Israeli government from the Jewish religion and the Jewish people. And that saying something in support of Palestine is somehow anti-Semitic, because it's not. And she's saying this, she's trolling you specifically because it's the tactic you've taken for years on this subject. Very anti-Palestinian, pro victimization of uh, of of Jews when people are being critical of political actions or acts of war, which is really what's going on. And then you very quickly hold up your pieces of paper to defend yourself. I knew that would be the counter argument, so I was very careful. I wrote things down. That's not what I'm doing this time. Your co-hosts have your number. They are ready. And insulting Joy on air, I guess, was not such a great idea either. She didn't take too kindly to that, and told you to show a little respect for the amount of time that some of your co-hosts have been at their job, which is longer than you, and you should show some respect. It is the first time, though, since you've been there, where your party's not in the White House. You don't have control over the Senate. Things are looking bleak in terms of the party's public image. And so you are just in a tailspin of bullshit, trying to distract from, being the girl without a party and not knowing what to do. I noticed Anna Navarro doesn't seem to be, quite as bent out of shape or lost as you are, but you're becoming a little unhinged, and I assume mostly for theater, to try to get headlines, to try to keep yourself in the news. But I don't think you're winning over any fans, and you're certainly not winning over your co-hosts. They seem to be pretty well over you. Whatever happened to the rest of the show doesn't even matter. You hijacked Hot Topics. Again, Sonny made a great point. We don't really delve that much into the Israel-Palestinian conflict because it's a very complicated issue, and it's a very sensitive issue, because people like you take issue anytime anyone says anything that the Israeli government was wrong. Because you're so tribal. And that's the thing about the Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you all are just gonna back her, then you're all just as bad as her. That's the point. If Kevin McCarthy can't say, hey, lady in my coalition, knock it off, and say it publicly, then he's with her on it. And that's pretty shitty. Maybe, your sister-in-law, who's his top aide, should tell him that.